Good morning, wonderful fragrance friends and lovers. I'm here to help you smell amazing and learn about fragrances. And today we have 1966 Gent from the House of Southern Living. Let's jump into this fragrance and what it smells like. But I do want to talk about the presentation real quick. I think it's always good to. I think the bottle is high quality. It's decent. It's kind of simple. The cap, it snugs in tightly. Let's show you the sprayer. Decent sprayer. Wind was going that way. Anyways, I thought it was very funny that it was called Southern Living. I think there is a connection to the very famous and long-going magazine. Maybe you're not familiar, but it's a very famous cooking magazine, and a lot of ladies, especially back in the day, were very into it. It's still a fairly big thing, and I thought it was interesting that they said Southern Living and that they chose to put a fly, which is something you would use in fly fishing, more topwater fishing. It's like a little bug that lands on the top of the water, mostly for trout fishing or the like, lake trout, maybe salmon. And I thought that was funny because people in the South, at least everything that I'm familiar with South, we don't have trout and we don't mess with trout or fly fishing at all. Anyways, let's talk about the fragrance. What does this fragrance smell like? First off, there are lots of very interesting notes that I like in fragrances listed. We got vetiver, black pepper, leather, and bourbon as some of the biggest notes listed. I love those notes. Those are some of my favorite things in fragrances. I was expecting a deeper, heavier, woody fragrance, possibly sweet, possibly rich, and this is really not what I expected. This is a complete 180 switch up. What I was expecting out of this fragrance. I just have to be honest. There is a lot of, they say there's bourbon to this fragrance. To me, it smells a lot more like gin. There is a green freshness. No doubt that there's lots of ISOE Super, which is a very mass appealing, grassy, green type of fresh molecule. In lots of fragrances, made things like Terre d'Hermes one of the reasons why it has so much magic to it. This fragrance has lots of that. So getting into it, it does give it a fresher opening without having to have citrus, which might be a pro or con depending on how much you like citrus. But I do feel like the booziness is a bigger player here. But again, it's more of like gin. I don't get a lot of the bourbon, and there is quite a bit of booziness here. But the other notes are very much in the background and modern, transparent, maybe even molecule-ish. Again, it doesn't come off as displeasing. But for some people, this is going to be a more synthetic, simple fragrance. The quality of what you're getting here, the depth and the complexity, I didn't get enough of it that I was expecting. Now, is it a bad fragrance? No, it's actually pretty easy to wear. And if you do like the idea of a tobacco fragrance that's very easy to wear, would never be offensive. You could wear this to the office. You could wear this almost anywhere, anytime, and you would have absolutely no risk of offending anybody. That might be a good thing. As it ages, I can already tell it's getting better, so maybe it just needs more time to develop. But it's and the bourbon and the booziness is actually really good here. But again, the depth of the complexity here is not. It's again, this reminds me of what we would call in the South, and I don't think it's just a Southern thing, like a hot toddy, which is it's like tea and booze mixed with spices, more like a holiday beverage, and that's what this fragrance reminds me of. It's not exactly the same. It's not exactly, but it like that. But it reminds me of that. Again, like tea and spices and booze all put together into a little holiday cocktail, and it reminds me a bit of that. So, nice fragrance, especially for the price. This is pretty darn affordable. We'll talk about that at the end of the review, but I don't know what else I can say. The quality is not here what I expected. And again, I did get this sent from the company, so I'm just telling it like it is. I'm not giving this an overtly positive review, even though I got this for free. You know we don't play games here at Centaur Fragrance. So, this fragrance here, decent. As far as tobacco goes, if you're a true tobacco lover, not going to be rich or potent enough for most tobacco lovers. For woody lovers, not enough woods. The black pepper doesn't pop out like I would like. There is some soft leathery undertone. Some people have a hard time with leather, so this would be perhaps a very easy way to get into tobacco and leather. Again, for some people this is going to work. I can see with the name Southern Living, this could make a great gift for an uncle or a dad or some, a guy or somebody in your life that you care about, and especially if they don't have any fragrances or usually never wear them. This probably would make a very nice memory or gift or experience. And that's maybe what they're focusing on, because if you smell designer level fragrances, this is another one of those fragrances that you might say is a little bit lower than even some designer level fragrances in quality for what you're getting. Again, it is I believe it's a 3.4 ounce bottle. Yep, 100 mils. So, you're getting a full size bottle at least. So the value's not really bad. But let's talk about that performance, and we'll talk about all those details later. Performance-wise, I was getting around 7 hours, 6 to 7. Not bad performance, but certainly could be better. Again, for a woodier tobacco fragrance, which I like heaviness, I like richness, I like tobacco. It doesn't have to be the strongest tobacco, but I do like it to really punch out of a fragrance, and I like to notice that tobacco if I am going to go for a tobacco fragrance. And for a Southern Gent fragrance, again, I do like the booziness and the playfulness, and a little bit of the warmth that somehow comes through without really any spices listed, besides the black pepper, and I don't get much of the black pepper. There's not really a lot to make this fragrance have the performance. So I would say projection and sillage is on the average side. Overall, it does decent, but for some people, if you like strong performance, you might say this is, you want more. This doesn't give you really strong performance, but it's decent. It gets you by for sure. And again, this is another one of those fragrances because it's molecule-like and it's not very dense. You might think it disappeared on you. You might think it's a ghost of a fragrance, just like Jeremy's Fragrance Office for Men, but it actually performs pretty well. So don't beat up completely on this fragrance. But again, depending on how much you like the richness or the naturalness or the fullness of a fragrance, I like that. So this isn't exactly how I like my fragrances to feel or perform. Getting into the compliment factor, this fragrance was a surprisingly good compliment getter. It's easy to enjoy, it's simple, it's kind of smooth and refined, and non-intrusive. It doesn't get in people's faces, it's not too daring, it's not too strange. It doesn't feel overtly seductive, so people are more approachable. I should save this to the very end of the video. I'll just tell you right now, I think that Private Accord by Hugo Boss is the much better purchase, especially because you can find them for about the same price. All things considered, especially, discounted, Fragrance Net or Fragrance by CA and the like. That fragrance is much more attractive. And in my experience, if it's a very, very attractive fragrance, I generally don't get complimented. Maybe it's a culture where I live, especially the ladies. They'll give you a look. If they have a reason to talk to you, like the DMV, or you're going to the dentist, or and the receptionist or somebody talks to you, whoever it is, that lady might have a little bit more of an opening or opportunity to compliment your fragrance. But here, openly, people don't generally give compliments like that, but they will give looks, and this one felt a little bit more approachable to a lot of people, at least compliment wise. It just feels respectful and well put together, and does have a little bit of people did like it, and it is something I think a lot of people would enjoy around here, because again, a lot of people around here don't want to get noticed with fragrances. They don't want beast mode, they don't want clubbing fragrances unless you're into that scene. A lot of people around here just don't go for that. So, what are my thoughts with this fragrance here? This is something I think, I don't know, I can't really recommend this. I think that the gin is off-placed. The greenness to this, almost, it's not exactly a fougere, but almost giving it, a modern, feeling to that. It might remind some people of a classic men's feeling, almost like barbershop-like. But it doesn't have all the other elements. It doesn't have lavender, which is common. It doesn't have the spicy shaving cream or the powderiness or any of those other elements. So it's an interesting thing, and maybe it'll work for some gentlemen out there. Certainly is very easy to wear, unintrusive, and smells. It can make you smell well put together. but I think that there are far better values on the market for the money for what you're paying, the quality that's coming out of this. This is, even though 70 odd dollars is not very expensive for a fragrance, if you know where to look to get a good fragrance, things like like we already talked about the Hugo Boss Private Accord, but if you want to go for La Lique, Pour Homme, the original, there's Moschino Uomo. I've talked about that. That's like a 20 odd dollar fragrance at discounters, and there are other things out there. They don't have the tobacco exactly, but there's Versace the Dreamer. That's still out there, but been reformulated. But even for bargain prices, Versace the Dreamer, even reformulated. Maybe this is on par with that level of quality, which some people might say is bad quality. But anyways, let me know in the comment sections below. What do you think about this fragrance? Would you like a Isui Super or molecules to kind of come out in the opening, and then the fragrance, the body, and what the fragrance was supposed to be in the mid and the base as you smell it as it goes on? It's not something that I think is the most tactful or expertly. It's not. I shouldn't say it's not an expert thing to do, or perfumery wise, like master perfumer. Maybe it's just something that I don't appreciate as much in the world of perfumery, where the top notes burst out and then they quickly die away, and then you get more of what the fragrance was supposed to be. I like the opening to be a transition that invites you to the fragrance and melds in. It doesn't completely go away so quickly. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment sections below. I hope that you liked my in-depth and detailed fragrance review. If you do love fragrances, I'm very active on Instagram. Check me out, Centaur Fragrance. I have all kinds of other social media. I'll include links down below. Don't forget to like, comment, join, follow, all that good stuff. And smell amazing, my friends. That's what my channel is all about, helping you smell great and explore the world of fragrance. So I'll see you soon. This is Centaur Fragrance here to help you smell amazing, Benjamin, and wear what you love. Let me know in the comment sections below. Do you like tobacco, woody, spicy fragrances? Do you like one that's a lot more modern and easygoing? And does this sound good to you? Let me know in the comment sections. I'll include links down below to where you could check this fragrance out if you'd like to. So I'll see you soon. Peace out, everybody, and bye.